Thank you so much for staying with us here on Antigua Bar Beauty today. Now, Emancipation Day here being celebrated August 1 every single year. We do have Jareed Whitlock Samuel and Megan Samuel Fields. They're here to talk about why financial literacy should be a part of the Emancipation celebrations. A bit of an unorthodox conversation there this morning, and we're going to find out the angle that these ladies wish to direct the conversation. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the 8 steps towards financial freedom. Ladies, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
And happy.
We are doing great.
Well.
Happy Emancipation Day.
Happy Emancipation Day to you as well, ladies. Let's tackle first of all how we're tying financial literacy into Emancipation Day, and why are we doing that? Why the spin on celebrating Emancipation Day?
Well, essentially, when we think about emancipation, it's always a focus on the social part of it. We never focus on the economic part of it. And of course, as we all know the story, for a lot of ex-slaves, everybody was looking forward to freedom. And of course, the social and the mental freedom was what they probably enjoyed most. But without financial tools, they were not prepared. You had to go from being enslaved, where you pretty much had a roof over your head, you didn't have a whole lot of economic responsibility, and you were ushered into this new dispensation where you're joyous and you're looking forward to it, and you suddenly realize that to survive, you probably have to end up working for the same people, and you're still tied to the old system because these people didn't have the tools. Luckily, we brought a lot of customs with us from Africa. For example, the Susu, a collective way of doing things. We're very entrepreneurial. We brought our own crops. We brought some of our handicrafts and what have you. So once they were free, they found ways to exist and to survive. And that's what we want to focus on, because as we all know, slavery was a way to empower others. Right. It was free labor. We got the short end of the stick. And so we had to find a way within that system to seek financial empowerment. But luckily, we brought a lot of customs with us, like, for example, the box hand, the Susu. There's a lot of talk about Harambe and customs like that allowed us to survive. So in short, a lot of our money values and our attitudes today and how we look at money, a lot of it had to do with customs we brought from Africa, slavery, and then in emancipation, how we made that leap towards financial independence.
Is there a specific event that you will be hosting geared towards having this conversation and empowering people through this on Emancipation Day?
Well, we're not having an event per se on Emancipation Day. We want to raise awareness because it's all about, one, celebrating where we've come from, but also recognizing that we need to have more financial conversations. And I think that is part of what we want to highlight today, the need for us to have the financial conversations so that we can continue on our path to financial freedom. Yes, we have been emancipated, but there's still a lot of work to be done in the area of financial literacy and financial empowerment, financial wellness, financial freedom. And so we want to have the conversations, and all of that will be stepping stone to our grand event that we're having in September 23rd and 24th, where we're focusing on the youth. We've had several financial wellness conferences over the last few years, and we are focusing on the youth. You've heard of YOLO, you only live once. Well, we're having a youth conference, a YOLO summit, and YOLO for us is youth, opportunities, lessons, and outcomes. And we are going to be unpacking a lot of the financial conversations, things we tell ourselves, things we learned from our parents, our aunts, uncles, grandparents, those conversations that have somehow shaped the way our financial decisions, and some of them are not really serving us well. So we want to have those conversations with the young people. We believe it starts with the youth. Have the conversations, also have lots of learning activities so that the young people can understand what it means to have money, make money, keep money, invest, and build for their financial future.
Is there a certain disconnect that you think that might exist that would affect us from achieving full financial freedom or being completely and wholly financially literate?
Yes.
Go ahead, Jareed.
Yes, I think it starts with conversations. We have a culture, and a lot of that came from slavery as well, where we just aren't comfortable. And I mean, I'm sure you can relate to this. You're a generation after us.
Yes.
But we just, in a lot of other societies, they're a lot more comfortable having those conversations with the youth, and it's a dinner table type of conversation, which in contrast, in our society and as a part of our customs, parents don't level with children in terms of what the financial picture is in the household, and also what some of their possibilities are. So I think we tend to, a lot of us look at money as a scarcity. A lot of us grew up hearing more about what we didn't have and what we couldn't afford and what we had to ration, as opposed to recognizing that money can be in abundance if you have the tools, and money motivations that other societies are a lot better at, pushing a lot of the tools, savings, investment, insurance, multiplying your money. So we definitely think it starts with conversations and making those connections very early in the game, so that there's a culture in the household that permeates through society, whereby people are a lot more comfortable talking about money.
Okay, now I see that there's the 8 steps toward financial freedom. Megan, you want to walk us through 4 and then give Jareed the other 4 to kind of walk us through what those steps would be?
Sure. So first off, it has to be with understanding your budget. And in having a budget, one of the main things you're going to do is to track your expenses. It is so easy to spend, and think that you are within budget. And then once you write them down, you realize, oh my goodness, I have spent so much money on food, or on, we're in Carnival now, on all the clothes and the various things you need for the different fets. So track your expenses. And when I say track your expenses, write them down. Don't leave them in your head. And however you want to track them, that's up to you. Whether pen and paper, on your phone, using an app, doesn't matter. And as you track those expenses, see what expenses you can cut out. Lots of times there are things we can do without. And especially if we want to save for a particular event, we will have to cut some unnecessary expenses. The other one that I am very passionate about is educate yourself. And I'm not just talking about going back to school. We have this wonderful thing called the internet. I know it's good and it's bad, but there's so much information on the internet that we can educate ourselves on, or grab a book. I always say I'm a bookworm. No shame in that. Get a financial book, a personal finance book, and just educate yourself. It's not enough to say, well, I wasn't taught this. And lots of us, we can say that. We didn't really learn as we went through life about managing money. But as a young person in particular, now is the time to try and educate yourself. And then build income streams. The focus is on streams. No longer is it enough to just have one job. See how you can have a side hustle. We always say, try to do something else. There's always a gift that you have that you can turn into a side hustle. And so those are the first 4. Let you continue with the others.
Okay, well, let me go through the others very quickly. The number 5 is save money, which is so key. There's a saying that we use a lot. You spend after you've saved. we have a tendency whereby after you're spending, you look around and you see how much can I save after I've met my expenses. No, it should be done the other way around. You set aside your savings and your spending should be guided by what's left after you save. Then number 6, invest your money wisely. Now, I know in Antigua and Barbuda, stocks and bonds, the younger people may be more familiar with that, but there's so many investments that people can make outside of stocks and bonds. I mean, one that I can think of is land. Young people, the first thing you try to do is to get a piece of land. There are other businesses, there are family businesses. There may be people around you who have investments. Of course, you have to approach that cautiously, but you should always be looking to see how can you multiply your money. And then also, young people nowadays, it's amazing. Everybody wants to have a business, right? But it's not only about investing in your business, but reinvesting wisely. Sometimes you watch the Shark Tank and you see people and they ask you, how much money do you have left in the bank? So you have to really get an understanding about your cash flow, how your reinvestments can work best for you as you go along. And then, of course, living a life with passive income. COVID has really taught us that beyond our fixed jobs and our stable income, whatever our career is, yes, you need a side hustle, but beyond that, there's so many ways to get passive income. It can be something as simple as getting points back. You go to Epicurean and you have your points. That's a way whereby in managing your rewards programs, your miles as you travel, that is some passive income. It may not translate into cash, but it's income nonetheless. Absolutely. That can improve your financial situation.
It's still very valuable regardless.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's all about wealth building. It's not always cash. It's about how do you build wealth.
Absolutely. All right, ladies. Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning and beginning the conversation. I think it's very timely.
Absolutely.
And now I can see how you're tying that into Emancipation Day, taking a little twist on it, but also including the young people preparing for your event come September. We look forward to hearing more details on that when you will join us in the months to come to tell us a little bit more about that.
Definitely.
But thank you so much for joining us there this morning. And we wish you guys all the very best. Once again, happy Emancipation Day.
Happy Emancipation Day. Thank you so much.
No
Have a great one.
We've been speaking to Megan Samuel Fields and Dorit Whitlock there.